Who wants to intro?
I can intro.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fuck Wellness. I'm McKenna.
I'm Mallory.
And I'm Lara.
Close.
And I realize I say the exact same thing every intro, so I should take some time to get a little more original. But
I think it's okay. I think it's a stable intro.
yeah, today we're doing kind of an off-the-cuff fun recording. We've never really done a recording like this, so I'm pretty excited. We haven't. When have we
Coming
just
to
been
you
like
live.
literally coming to you live? Like, when have we just sat on a mic and like bullshitted? Never.
Like every week.
No, I know, but we usually have a plan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're never just like, chatting like
Well,
sometimes.
McKenna and I have a plan.
Sometimes
that was a
like
joke. Sorry, Lara.
What? Like saying that normally I don't come with a plan?
Well, I feel like McKenna and I usually make sure there's a plan, and then we come on the pod, and you're just chill with whatever plan we've come up with.
This is perfect. Perfect timing to like give me some shit. I really appreciate that.
oh no, we're gonna have a real live fight.
Yeah. On YouTube.
Okay.
Love you.
Well, let's move on. So, what are we gonna do? So we're going to do some quick updates. Lara's gonna give a little bit of an update on her life, and then we're kind of gonna just talk about, things we're liking recently, things we've been doing, things we maybe haven't been liking, complaints. We can air them out, and
airing of grievances.
yeah, it's gonna be good. So, Lara, are you ready to take it away?
Yeah, I have a grievance.
Okay, just say it to my face at this point.
No,
Yeah, I will.
Like, just so everyone knows, like, just don't cross Lara right now, okay? It's like,
no, I just learned that actually in real time, and I'm a little afraid, and I sort of want to crawl under the table. I feel like a bitch.
It's important to tread lightly here, which, is, I feel like I'm like that all the time, like, but this is the first time I've been scared of Lara, so.
Oh, okay,
which is a good thing. I like it.
I'm just not around her 24/7, so I feel like I'm not used to it yet. Lara's like, well, better fucking get used to it. Okay.
No, I like
over
it.
to you.
No, Mal, I won't comfort you quite yet. Takes a little bit more than just that.
Just later in the pod. Yeah, just not right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so my quick update. I was supposed to be kind of put in the hot seat for this pod to finish out our hot seat. What is the future, hold for you kind of a question and answer podcast. However, I feel like my future and my life are a little bit in shambles at the moment. Just a little bit. So I will not be doing that because I don't think I really have that stability to offer all of our nice listeners. And yeah, but also like in the same vein, I think that like part of the reason why I really like doing this podcast is because I feel like it serves as kind of a time capsule of my life and how I'm doing throughout all the years that we've been doing this. And I, want this episode to be an accurate time capsule of how I'm doing this week. And it is pretty shitty. So, yeah, just want to be real with that. Have cried a lot this week, and yeah, it's been pretty interesting because I've also had to work like a pretty heavy week, and it it sucks that like in general, and I feel like in my line of work especially, there's no such thing as like take a week off for your mental health kind of a thing,
or even like a day to take it slow, or
yeah or even a day. So yeah, it's been rough. Any questions?
I would say, are we going to do your life transitions pod ever, or can I ask you a life transitions question now?
You can ask me a question.
Okay. I'm curious, like, I know that you perceive your life to be in shambles, and I just wanted to ask, like, when the dust settles, like, are there any life transitions that you feel sure about, like, irrespective of what you're going through right now? Like, I guess next steps that you do feel like you want to take regardless of what you're going through right now.
Yeah, I think like the one kind of part of my life that I know will have a big period of transition is, well, I don't know anything, I guess, but something that I do hope eventually does transition is that I at some point will not be living in Boulder. And that's really hard because like even on days like today where, you know, I'm like very upset at my life, I'm like also can see the beauty. And something that is so beautiful is like I have this house with some of my best friends, and I can, you know, go to a coffee shop and meet up with more friends even though it's freaking 1 degree out. Like like I think that it's really something I'm thankful for, that I've like been able to be so supported this week by the people who are here. And I think that thinking to my future and to a period of time where I no longer live in Boulder with these people and, you know, no longer have the option to like sleep in Ken's bed if I need, or have dinner made for me if I can't make it. Like that kind of stuff feels scary to part with, but I know that eventually I will not live in Boulder and eventually I will not be at my current job, which sucks, but I feel like, you know, I've been pretty transparent with like my boss about those kinds of plans, and I think that that helps me as a people person who just wants to please everyone, helps me to give large forewarning of like, you know, I will know there will be a moment where I'm not here in this state anymore.
Okay, wait, I have another question that's actually, I think this is a great life transitions question. It's actually not about a current life transition.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I feel like we haven't really talked about this actually in quite a while. But I remember when you were graduating and no longer like on the rowing team anymore, you were worried about the transition from being a college athlete to your day-to-day life. And now you've had like quite a while to kind of process it. And I'm curious like how that transition was for you and where you are now with your relationship to movement and like that kind of process you've been through. Because I know you were kind of worried about it, right? Like when you graduated, but I feel like we actually haven't really talked about it much on the podcast, like how it actually went for you.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked about it much because it really became kind of a non-issue.
Yeah.
Almost, because once I was out of that world and could kind of see how intense it was from just the lens of my friends who were still in that world, I think I got some really healthy perspective of like, oh, that's not how life should kind of feel on your body. And the amount of really, really intense pain I was always in, it's wild that like, you know, nowadays if I have a really tight back, I'll just like not do stuff, you know? Or like right now where like my body just kind of hurts because of like a hard thing that I'm doing, I just don't have to do stuff. Like there's no Friday test, there's no erg boat race Tuesday, like there's none of those like really scary things that are used to measure your success and used to dictate your future almost in a team setting like that. Yeah, I don't think I've really thought about it much, which I think is good. Like that.
Yeah.
That's how it should feel.
I also feel like you had a
Um,
lot of fun, like more fun getting to choose what movement you want to do.
Yes. Yeah. I think that I still struggle with two things. I think I sometimes when I see people at the gym doing, you know, really intense workouts or doing like handstands or stuff like that, there's still an element of my brain that's like, Lara, why aren't you doing that? Like, why can't you do a handstand? Like, because I've never been able to, but why aren't you pushing yourself to that level? And I think that is something that I sometimes struggle with, a lot less than I thought I would struggle with it when I first graduated. And the other thing is finding movement that I have never done before and feeling comfortable enough to try it is really scary. And I think that my goal for this next part of my life is one to just like dance more as my movement, like really lean into that. And there's this dance studio kind of near our house that does like dance classes every day, and it's 30 I think it's $30 for first 30 days, and then obviously the price goes up once you're like not in that promo. But I was kind of thinking this could be a good time for that.
We had a great time
to use the promo. So stay tuned on that.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
For
and
you,
I'm
for
going to
you. Just
yeah.
kidding.
And Ken, you're coming with me.
Mhm.
Ken's a huge dancer, everyone listening, but she gets really shy. So
No, that's the problem. My body can move, but my brain says no thanks.
but you can move, you can groove.
Yeah.
I'm going to my first like reformer Pilates class tomorrow with Bella, and I've
I'm so
always wanted to
jealous.
try. I'm
Ugh,
so excited.
you're gonna love it.
Oh, I
That's
know.
what
I'm
everyone
really
is saying.
worried.
I'm going
Pilates
next week for the
reformer.
first time,
Oh,
and I
so
feel like I'm going to
nice.
spend all my money at that place.
Oh yeah, I'm really worried about it.
I'm in my
Hmm.
Pilates phase right now, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like the whole world kind of is.
the whole world kind of is.
Well, it's having its day in the sun, but in some good ways and in some bad ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other cues?
Well, I had a bit of a follow-up, which is I feel like we've talked a lot about how most of your life had a lot of structure to it, in that you were always in something that required you to have like a lot of discipline, a lot of like just root like willpower to do things. And I feel like the last 2 years have kind of been your time to not have that. And so I think it's fun to watch you like find movement that you enjoy and also like allow your body to rest, because I feel like that it hasn't even really been an opportunity for you to have. So I guess I was curious if you feel like 100% good not having that same structure, or if there's some aspects of you that still like find yourself yearning for more of that like disciplined environment. I don't know where you are at with that.
I think that I like having the future. Wait, what? No, sorry. I like having the flexibility in my movement practice, not having that structure or like rigor that being on rowing had. But I do think that there's still a part of my brain that does kind of like structure and rules and
Well, you still work
practices
a
and
very structured
policies.
job.
Right, which is what I was about to say, is that like I definitely still find that,
Yeah.
absolutely in my job is the case. So I think it'll be interesting talking to the Lara that doesn't work my job and also isn't on the rowing team and also maybe has found more kind of a hands up approach to other parts of my life. Whether or not I'll like that, or if I'll be like,
Yeah.
I feel in the
Mhm.
air, absolutely floating without a clue.
Well, you were in that phase for a little bit before you got this current job where you were doing like a few different things.
Yeah, and I definitely felt ungrounded. Like,
Yeah. You were bobbling around.
yeah, I was bobbling.
I also feel like if you have a tendency towards searching jobs like that or environments like that, like there's a way to experience that in minor ways too. Like maybe it is a certain type of gym if you
Mhm.
end up wanting that structure. But I also think like this is something that I kind of struggled with as well. And I kind of just forced my life to do it, even though my life is very fluid. But I think the Douglas is like the only thing that forced me to like chill out a little bit because you just have no idea. Like he could wake up sick tomorrow and then everything is like, rearranged.
Yeah. Yeah.
It changes your priorities.
Well, I did
Yeah.
almost get a dog the other day. So
What?
I was on Pet Finder at work. It was really, really sad to not get one. But these adoption fees, I'm like,
And they have to like do like home checks, and that's like the biggest thing about rescues that people are like fighting against is because they're making it really hard to adopt dogs.
Yeah, all the ones in Arlington, I don't know if it's the case where you are, but you need to have a fenced in yard. You can't
Which
get
is
a dog
Really?
without
It's
that.
so silly though, because like so many trainers and dog people are like, dogs get more exercise with owners that don't have fenced in yards because like
Oh,
backyards
for
don't exercise
sure.
dogs. Like it's just to go to the bathroom, really.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I mean, of course, I wouldn't really want a dog in my current apartment, but I'm like, I think that Ryan and I would be great dog owners. So if the only barrier is that I am a millennial who can't afford a house with a fenced in yard, like, is that really
Mhm.
what, like, the standard you want to set?
Yeah, especially because it's like it's not going to go away. Housing stuff isn't going to go away in the next,
No. And
few
like,
years.
fun fact, as I've said on this podcast, honestly, to some degree, the future of the housing market is going to be vertical, not horizontal. Therefore,
not
there's going to
out.
be more and more people who do not have fenced in yards that, like, eventually the majority of people probably will not have fenced in yards. So,
Yeah.
got to
Okay.
innovate,
Take it
world.
up with the shelters, Mel.
Yeah, well, I write letters daily to them venting about this, obviously.
It's the new hill that you're gonna die
It's
on.
the new God. Oh man, I'm just a classic hill to die on girl.
Yeah. I kind of feel that.
You feel that about yourself or about me?
No, I feel like I can think of a few hills that you've committed to dying on.
I think we talked about one on the episode with Ryan last week,
Yeah.
which I'm still dying on that hill. So yeah,
Oh,
it's not really benefiting
okay.
our relationship, but we'll work on it.
No, but you guys are strong. You can
Oh
you
yeah,
can handle
I can feed him
you.
anything and he'll suck it up. I'm kidding. Love
Exactly.
you, Ryan.
Uh, all right. Well, Lara, do you want to go into any more transitions, or do you want to pivot?
Let's pivot.
Okay. Well, the only thing is I have is a book or a list of things that I've been liking recently. That's all I have to offer to this podcast. So,
Hit
Well,
us with them.
wait, do you have any updates, Ken? Anything that we should know?
I do have updates. Let's see.
Cool. Okay, I'm
Okay.
glad. Let's hear them.
I really only have one update. I quit volleyball.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Yeah,
We
that's my
love
biggest
that.
update.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you came to that decision?
And how you're feeling after?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I feel really good about that decision now. It's a very hard decision for me to make because like I explained, I think in my hot seat, it's just I feel like I'm weak if I don't say yes to it because that's the only reason. I was like it was time. And basically long story short, they couldn't give me the schedule until after tryouts at the end of February. And I knew it was going to be more travel than the other teams. And so I just said, purely based on logistics, like I can't commit to not knowing what the schedule is and traveling more than, is anticipated. So that pretty much made the decision for me. So I don't really feel very brave in making that decision because I kind of let it just decide for me. But I did, obviously have to say it. So yeah,
I'm proud of you.
thanks. I feel really like a lot better. My work weeks are still going to be very busy, but not as busy. Not like I'll have to check out for 2 months. So that was what was going to have to happen is I would have had drop off the face of the earth for 2 months and then circle back in May.
I would not have liked that personally as a friend.
Yeah, that would have been, it would have really been very bad.
Not good.
My digestion wouldn't like it either.
Pretty much no one would have liked it. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
Except for maybe your volleyball bosses. But if you can't deliver the facts, you don't get the ass.
Yeah.
I was like, Lara, where are you going with this?
No, I
that
feel
thing
bad.
I always say.
I really the coaches, that's like a sad part. There's always a good and a bad thing in it. And so it's sad to kind of miss out on some of that, but maybe I'll stop by a few practices and help out. And yeah. Also, I said I was done doing readings in the last podcast, and I had 5 readings booked last week. So that clearly it's not time to end that. So
yeah, I think the universe is saying you're actually incorrect about
just
that.
kidding. Well, it's kind of a funny thing because like I had a lot of extra expenses because I had like a huge fix on my car, and then that was so expensive. And then Douglas had a bunch of vet bills, and then he's getting neutered, or by the time this comes out, he'll already have been neutered. And so the bills were racking up, and I don't know, usually in times like that, it's really cool to see how like money comes in from other places where I'm like, oh, now it's covered. So that's like an exciting thing because then I don't have to give up stuff like going to DC, or I'm getting my first like big girl haircut next week, stuff like that.
That's
so excited for
that's so exciting.
your curly haircut.
My
Did
curly
you guys
haircut.
use your massages or facials yet that I got
No,
you?
I'm scheming the perfect time.
Me too. I think that my time is coming up.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's
like
here.
the next 2
The
weeks.
time has come.
Prime time.
Yeah. No, I'm
Okay.
so excited.
Yeah, I did some Googling of the best places, so I think it's gonna be pretty bougie.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Guys, I also have an update for you both and about something that you had discussed on the podcast a few weeks ago. Remember when you guys both were like, yeah, when I think about future good things, you're like, don't let yourself think about them.
Oh yeah, lucky girl syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I listened to Brene Brown's book Atlas of the Heart last week, which was a really good book. Everyone should read or listen
I have
to
it right over there.
Really? Have you read it
Ooh.
yet?
The dean of students got it for every single student affairs staff at GW. I've not read it.
Oh my God.
I really enjoyed it. I like listening to her because her audiobook, she like treats like a podcast, like she'll go off script, which I think is nice. But anyways, in this book, it's like describing every emotion and like talking about them and like the ways that we think some certain emotions are linked, but they're not. Like, it's really cool. But the thing that she said that pretty accurately describes what you guys were talking about is called foreboding joy.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, teach everyone something today.
So what we were doing by saying we can't think this good thing will happen because then the universe will know we want it and it'll be taken away. That's called foreboding joy.
I think so.
That's nice.
I mean, the way that she explained it wasn't the same, but it was so similar that I think it's like in the same, it could fall under the same category.
Yeah.
Mal's not convinced.
No. Honestly, I was just thinking about, I am convinced. I was just thinking about the cycle I've been in recently with foreboding joy about kids. I've been thinking, I was telling Ryan earlier, because I've always said that I'd be totally fine having an only child. And Ryan has always been like, I for sure think we should need to have more than one kid. But then following this, like the little snowboarder girl, Ryan's kind of like, oh, actually, it would be really cute for us just to have a little girl and be the Three Musketeers. Anyway, but then Ryan's yelling at me from the other room. Okay, anyway, which I love, which is totally fine. And I want to be clear, like, I'm not like die on a hill, like an only child, but I would be fine having an only child. Anyway, but the foreboding joy part is that I feel like I keep being like, well, what if that kid dies and it's like my only
Oh
kid?
my gosh, Mallory.
No, well,
Oh,
I'm being honest about my anxiety is like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
keep thinking like, well, if I have an only child, that's my only kid. And what if they die? So if I have two, at least like there's a better chance that they'll live. I feel like I'm in like the 18th century with like cholera or something, but like,
yeah.
I
Hedge your
don't know.
bets.
I understand because I have these exact same thoughts. It's just like normally I'm like, oh, no one can ever know those thoughts. You know what I mean?
well,
Nah,
I played
bring
We're
'em
Not Really
out.
Strangers last night, and I learned that we definitely should talk about this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
So
we should.
here's
We
me
should.
being vulnerable on the podcast. I've
Yeah,
been in
I
that
mean,
cycle nonstop for like a day. It's like, I can't have an only child because if they die, then I have no kids.
yeah. Well, you know, when in high school, I like had this big thing where I would tell everyone I'm never going to own a dog because I won't survive the dog dying. And all all of my friends were like, are you going to say that about everything in your life? Like you'll never have a husband or a wife, you know, whatever. Like you'll never have any kids, like cuz you'll always be scared of that. So, I think it's natural to have that fear, but
Yeah.
I think the pain of knowing we may lose something is worth the joy, or like is worth it because of the joy that we would receive being part of something.
Yeah. But it's all a numbers game, you know.
Oh my
Mallory,
God.
stop it.
Just
Stop
kidding.
it, stop it, stop it.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No. You're right, Ken. And like I know that rationally. It's not in my rational moments that I worry about.
A
You know,
Brene
the
Brown quote,
statistics.
if you're wondering, that I
Okay,
wrote
yeah, let
down.
me hear.
It says, "The brokenhearted are the bravest among us. They dare to love."
Yeah.
So if you lose a child, you'd be severely brokenhearted, severely. But that doesn't take away the love that you have for the child.
I want to be clear. Like, I feel like this is where my anxiety comes in, where I'm like, am I just manifesting like having
No.
my child die in the moment right now?
No,
No.
Okay.
that's not
cool.
how things work.
Well, I mean, I know that not literally, but you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for listening to
Oh,
Thank
what
you.
if we just signed off?
Thank you for listening.
And
Bye.
that's that. No, Mal, I actually thanks for actually saying that though, because I think sometimes those beliefs are like, at least for me, are under a lot of shame of like, why would you ever say something like that out loud? And it's very normal. I think that's a normal anxiety to have about something that you know you'll love so much.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. You are welcome. I can say lots of those. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I got a whole handful.
Unlimited amounts.
It's okay. Me too.
Did you guys read my newsletter last week?
I did. Can you remind
What
me
was
what
it
was
about?
on?
Oh, it was
I do read everyone though,
like
so I know
when
I read
joyful
it.
movement feels fucking hard.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that one had a lot of stuff that I don't like to say out loud very often. It's easier for me to write it than it is
Yeah.
for me to like to say it to people. Because I was really trying to articulate. I was even talking to like my like Dylan about this, like my friend Dylan, and I was like, oh, I'm having a lot of like body image like challenges recently. But then I realized the next step of like explaining what those are is like very challenging. It's like I can say, yeah, I've been really struggling with my body image, but then ask me like what that means. And it's like, well, how deep do I go? This? So I
Because
feel
that's
like
really vulnerable. Like if you said like body image is such a blanket statement, but it's like if someone asked you, you'd have to actually say what is happening.
yeah. Well, for example, like last night, we had a dinner party with my friends Connor, Dylan, and Sam, and I put on this dress, and I had bought the dress knowing that the arms to me, like as a person who was struggling with body image, felt tight on my arms. Like it didn't look tight, but it felt, the sensation was really strong for me. And I like told Ryan, I was like, I like this dress and I like how it looks on me, but I don't like the feeling of how tight it is on my arms. Like it makes me feel bad about myself. And so then they all came over and I almost felt like I couldn't even engage in conversation because I was so distracted by like the sensation of like the tightness of the arm, like the arms. And I feel like that to me is the best way to describe like what I'm struggling with, is just like little things like that taking over anything that I'm doing or thinking about. So that was like an example that I thought of. I didn't talk about that in my newsletter because it was after that, but yeah, I've just been thinking about that a lot.
It's so, yeah. The way that a piece of clothing feeling wrong somehow on you can pull all the focus away from it, your whole life is incredible.
Oh yeah. Biggest trigger for me for body image is like clothing sensation. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like that could also be a sensory thing?
I think it is. Because I have that sometimes too. If I don't, or I really hate the feeling of sleeves when I'm sweaty. Like I don't like the feeling of like sleeves on sweaty arms. So I think I am just like extra sensitive in general to like sensations of like the sensory stuff. But
yeah,
I
totally get that.
Yeah, I made the mistake last week of wearing a pair of pants because I, obviously in a moment of sadness chose to clean out part of my closet. And I found this pair of pants. I was like, oh, these are kind of cool. Like maybe I'll wear them to work tomorrow. Wore them to work, worst decision of my life. Like, one, they're too small now. Two, they were super itchy. So I was just like itching my legs all day.
I can't even imagine.
I literally was almost like, am I gonna have to like ask to go home to change pants? Because I can't stay here for 12 hours while this is happening. Like by hour 2, I was about to scream. It was so bad.
I know
I was
exactly
like,
how you feel.
never am I ever gonna find an old pair of clothing and just wear it to work on a whim. That was so stupid. So bad.
I totally know that feeling.
Yeah.
Clothes are so strange.
I agree. Ken, any other updates of
nope.
One good thing that's going on in my life is you both know this, but I passed my lead belay and climb test, which is a really big deal.
Nice.
And it is very much to me the epitome of do it scared, because it is the scariest fucking thing ever. But I feel like I've been challenging myself a lot with it and making myself feel a lot more comfortable, because every time I do it, it's like the exposure that I've been writing about. And today I like got off of work a little bit early and Ryan was like, oh, do you want to go climbing? So we ended up just going to the climbing gym. And there's this moment when you lead climb where you look down and you see that the closest clip to you is like between your legs, which means if you were going to fall, you would fall double the distance of like, basically you fall like at least like 8 feet at minimum.
Oh my gosh.
And so
big distance.
It's a feeling of your hands are on the wall and you look down and you look at where the next clip is and you think,
my hands are sweaty, Mal. My hands are literally wet right now.
Yeah. But that happens like every clip basically of the whole wall. And so it's all about like kind of like ignoring the clips, but you can't ignore it for so long because then you don't want to miss a clip. So anyway, today I was just like, I felt like I was so brave. I feel like there's so many moments where I was on the wall and I would just be like, breathe, breathe, breathe. And yeah, I was just very proud of myself because it is something that makes me so uncomfortable. I mean, I think it makes most people who are new to it and even who've been doing it for a long time, like it is a scary feeling to be the whole time going up the wall being like, I am the one putting the protection for my life on the wall. Like
Wow.
it is a wild
Wow, I
feeling.
can't
That's
take
so
this right now.
scary.
I'm not joking. I cannot take this.
So anyway, I've been really proud of myself for how I feel like I've been taking on these fears and been doing really well with it. So
You are
that is
so
a win.
brave.
Thank you. I mean, we all have different things that we take on. And Dylan, I think it was Dylan said this last night we were playing We're Not Really Strangers, but he said like you can either have courage and like be brave, or sometimes you can borrow courage and borrow bravery from the people around you.
Oh.
And I thought about you guys and how I feel like I borrow bravery and courage from you guys all the time. And then I feel like when I'm at the climbing gym, everyone else I climb with like inspires me to do what I do. So I don't know. I thought that was a really beautiful remark.
That's
I
really
love
beautiful.
that.
A sprinkle of bravery.
Because I think we often forget sometimes when we're brave, we actually inspire other people to be brave. Like I always think about that with the little snowboarder girl is she just by her being brave, she inspired me to be brave.
Also,
Like you both are looking at me like I'm fucking ridiculous.
No, I think you're
it's
spot
fine.
on. Literally, anytime I talk to either of you guys, I know that you'll like I'll walk away knowing that I can do it, whatever I'm worried about.
Yeah. I think if I didn't have the people and, friendship, my friends, it's hard to say. If I didn't have the friends in my life that I do, I feel like I would still be, I don't even know, just living in Davis, not doing a single thing with my life because I would have just never made that step to keep going and pushing my life to do different things. I borrow bravery all the time. I love that phrase. Oh, damn.
I think I want to do it scared as my tattoo.
I love
Huge
it,
news.
Mal.
Huge news.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it. For those of you who don't know, we're getting tattoos in 2 weeks, a week and a half.
We're getting tatted up, y'all.
Okay, but for me, it's my first one ever, which is a huge deal.
It's a big deal.
It's gonna be amazing.
I'm really
so excited.
scared. Like that is like getting the do it scared tattoo is me doing it scared.
Oh, that's the best tattoo, Mal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I know exactly
really
where
good.
I want it.
Where do you want it?
Well, because I was like, if I'm gonna get words like that, I want it to be somewhere that I would see all of the time. Yeah, forehead, straight up on the forehead. No, I'm gonna get it right like here on my wrist.
Oh, I love that.
I love it.
So that when I'm belaying and climbing, I can see it.
I'm gonna cry.
No, you guys, something like is happening with my body because thinking about being in DC with you guys. I literally like yeah, I can't even believe that's gonna happen. 2, having my big girl haircut.
Big girl
3,
haircut.
I missed the tattoo artist like books opening that I want to do my bigger tattoo, and so I'm really like sad that that's not gonna be there, but a new tattoo will hit the spot either way.
Yeah.
So anyways, what I'm saying is like it just feels like a glow up. Like I might need to get my nails done also because it just feels like
let's do it. Before we go, nails.
No,
before we go
too, but we do have limited
time.
We'll
go in DC. We'll go in DC.
I live in the city, Lara. There are nail places here. I know it's hard to believe. Northern Virginia, God forbid.
We can do them there or here. Good God. But I was gonna say, because we're gonna be practicing your wedding makeup, I say that we have a full glow up night. Because I've also been
my hair too.
So fun. So fun.
Needing a little bit of a glow up moment.
Maybe we can have another dinner party.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Let's do
Lara,
it.
you're gonna have to look through my makeup if we need to bring anything for Mal.
Yeah, I have to look through mine
Guys,
too.
I have
and
more than
might go
enough
buy
makeup
some.
here. Do not worry.
Yeah,
Quite a lot.
sure of that.
I got my tinted moisturizer.
Perfect.
I got
Wedding
some
days.
sunblock.
That's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom got me brown mascara, which is just not mascara in my humble opinion.
Oh my god, I love brown mascara.
We might need to go to like a store while we're there to get someone to like match you, Mal. I don't know how that works.
I will need help with that endeavor.
That is something I was thinking about for Deets. Is just to get a foundation matched to you to have your perfect shade, because any of my stuff, we could like blend it with like, play like a little color me mine situation. But I do think that it would be smart to have like a really good foundation just of your skin tone.
But if we got it when we were in DC, it would last until the wedding.
Yeah. So
we could just get the supplies.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Figure it out.
Wow. Really productive. Ken, do you want to tell us what you've been watching and reading?
No, I don't. But I do want to talk about it at some point because it's pretty good.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Should we make lists too? What did you do to make your list?
I said podcast prep and I made a list
of your favorite books and movies and TV shows.
No, not like ever. Just like in the last couple weeks, what I've been watching, like what I've been reading, what I've been liking.
Can anyone guess what I've been watching the last week?
The Bachelor.
Hell yeah. Yep.
Hell
Premiere January 23rd.
I think I need to watch this season.
I think you do too.
I think I do.
I don't know if I've heard that the guy. I'm so sorry, guys.
I've heard that the guy is a little bit of like a
small penis. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I was trying to be the emoji that's like
boring. Is he boring?
Yeah, like straight line.
Like, they don't try
straight line mouth.
Yeah. But they never choose bachelors that are crowd pleasers, really. Like first of all, I feel like the most dramatic seasons have been with the most dumb guys. So, because they like really just make bad decisions.
They read the script.
Like Clayton, terrible decisions. Could not have made worse decisions.
There were some more things going on. So,
right? Clayton?
Yeah.
Are you thinking about Colton?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about Colton.
Okay. I was like, we talking about the one who hadn't come out yet?
There's a few more things going on.
Yeah. I was like,
no, there was actually
we can
nothing
talk about
else.
the dynamics. Sure. Okay. Let's talk about everything that was going on with Clayton. Okay. Sorry. We don't need to get into The Bachelor right now, but I just want everyone to know that I will be giving weekly updates on the podcast, whether or not you like it.
Yeah. So start watching so you enjoy those.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well,
this flew by.
Yeah, this
is making such funny sounds in his sleep. He's like turning into a grumbly dog when he's sleeping.
Oh, I love it.
Little grumpy dog.
He's in like what I call the egg position, where he looks like he's in a little egg when he's sleeping because he's so curled up and he's like moaning. It's really cute.
Well, the moaning might be less cute.
No, it's like, like when a little kid stretches and they're like, going to bed.
Yeah.
And he just started snoring. So we're going to wrap. We're going to
wrap it up.
All right. Next week, stay tuned for what the pod's going to be because we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Do you know?
I mean, if you have an idea, maybe you should let us know. But
McKenna and I will talk about it and we'll just like show up next week.
Yeah, because McKenna and Mal are the only people that do anything. So that's really
That
cool.
is not what I was saying.
No, Lara's editing has been top notch recently.
Editing of the podcast?
Top notch.
Goodbye, Mallory.
McKenna's like hiding behind her mic.
I'm in the same house. I mean, no, I support the rage.
Towards me?
No, just in general. I support Lara rage.
Yeah, no, same. I just don't really like when it's directed at me personally, but I guess I shouldn't warn it if I don't want it. Okay. Appreciate
All
you
right.
all for listening.
Well, love you guys.
Love
Love
ya.
yas.
Bye.
Bye.
Boy.